We got 4 ways American homes are an absolute nightmare. Let's check this out and see what we got in this.
I'm Lawrence Brown, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to houses.
See, this is an interesting one because, like, UK houses, especially in the summer, is an absolute nightmare as well. So, yeah, let's see America
If
now.
you've spent any of the last 6 months watching this channel, you'll know that I used that time to talk about my first American house. And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Lawrence, that's why TubeBuddy nominated you for Creator of the Year in the lifestyle category. But you're also thinking, we get it, Lawrence, you're living the American dream. Isn't that great for you? Well, not always, because sometimes the American dream can be a nightmare. You see, while many are saying that this house is among the greatest in 3 counties, it does come with its fair share of challenges. Some of these challenges you'll have heard me talk about before, and you're about to receive an update. And others I'm about...
Like, my idea of, like, an American nightmare home would be, like, I don't know, bad neighbors or coyotes in the back garden. I don't know.
Reveal to you for the very first time. Or if you've never seen a Lost in the Pond video before, all of these will be new. So if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, do that now.
Right, here we go.
And so without further ado, here are 4 major challenges of living in your own American house. First up, you might have noticed that we are in the room where the furnace is kept, and there's a very good reason for that. My wife and I were in this very room at 2 a.m. the other night, fixing a very peculiar problem. You see, it all had to do with something that almost all British houses will never have to contend with, and that is the air conditioning. And I can almost...
Wait. Are you about to tell me fixing the air conditioning is a nightmare? Bro, that is just like a crazy flex on as I was gonna say America's, as British people, because I would rather have an AC unit that I have to fix than not have an AC unit at all. Like, in the summer, UK houses are horrible, bro, and we don't have AC units. Our houses are just built to keep the heat in. It's disgusting.
Almost hear it. The sound of Uncle Toby frantically typing away, saying something like, Lawrence, when are you going to stop talking about the fact that American houses have air conditioning? That was in all caps. And it's true, I do mention this a lot because it's a big difference between British and American houses.
It is.
And the truth of the matter is, your air conditioning sometimes stops working. It did that just the other night when it was 75 degrees outside. All of a sudden, after sitting in the living room for about 3 hours, we realised it's a little bit toasty in here, mate. And sadly, we didn't have any beans to go with it. So we did what anybody would do in this situation, and we put our hand in front of the air vents. And the air that was blowing out of them was doing so very slowly and quite warmly.
Oh my god.
Now, back when we lived in an apartment and we used to shove these in our windows, the process to stopping that was quite a lot easier. You just pull a filter out of the machine, clean it off, put it back in, and then usually it would be fine. But now we have something called central air, and figuring out the problem seemed harder. Can I put this down? It's really heavy. It seemed harder because it was completely and utterly a little bit harder. Because in addition to no cold air coming out of the air vents, these pipes, which lead to that box thing in the garden, again, nominated for an award, were completely frozen over. And in fact, when we went to check on the box thing outside, the pipes were frozen there too. And it's just occurred to me that I should have filmed all of this. It would have made for a great video. But you're just gonna have to take my word for it. This is what happened. And of course, as people who previously rented, we never had to take care of a situation like this before. So we looked for answers on a website called google.com. And the first thing it told us to do, and I hope it was correct, was to turn off our system and check the filter. Well, after doing some more reading, we discovered that our filter was located in a box right next to the furnace. I unscrewed it, removed this door, and pulled out the filter, which looked like it hadn't been replaced.
You know what? It's actually good that I don't have one of these AC units. Like, as much as I want to, I would have zero clue on what to... I would end up breaking it even more. I actually would. If I had to do what he's doing right now, I'd break even more.
1974. It's also patterned a little bit like an accordion, so I didn't know whether to clean it or play it. Thankfully, we had the wherewithal to return to Lowe's and buy ourselves a handy replacement. And here's B-roll of somebody that could be me but isn't, putting a filter that looks like mine but isn't into a box that's not far off but also not identical. Plus he's in an attic. Anyway, after doing that, we still couldn't turn on the air conditioning immediately because we still had to contend with the issue of of the icy pipes. Google suggested we put towels down and put the fan on so that it would blow warm air through all of the vents. In other words, to speed up the thawing process. And it worked after about 2 hours of falling asleep in the boiler room. Listen, I might have the words "Lost in the Pond" on t-shirts. Get yours by following the link in the description below. But that doesn't mean that I actually want to be submerged in water in my own house. But you might remember a couple of months ago, this was a genuine concern. Yeah, but this looks a bit different to how it was the other day. Oh, that's wet. Why was this? Well, my house and many others like it in the northern United States have a basement. And while conventional wisdom might tell us that my homeland of Great Britain gets more rain than any other country in the world, this simply isn't true. In fact, many American states get considerably more precipitation than Britain.
Oh, really?
This is partly down to short torrential thunderstorms, the like of which I experienced not too long ago here in Illinois. So, in an effort to ensure that my basement doesn't get any more leaks, we did two things. Number one, we filled in the holes with hydraulic cement in a process, once again, that I forgot to film. So instead, here's some random B-roll of cement, and you, the viewer, have to pretend this is me filling in my holes. Could have worded that better and used more accurate B-roll. We also found this discarded piece of drain pipe, which is very generously redistributing the water to another part of the ground so that it doesn't go into our house. Everybody thank the discarded piece of drain pipe.
You know what? This is like actually putting me off. To be fair, UK houses, it seems like American houses are like more problematic, but like it's just putting me off getting a home because I have zero clue. I am not a handyman at all. I have zero clue on what to do ever. I would not trust myself even putting like a piece of furniture up. I don't even know. I'm so bad.
The comments make it feel good because eventually we are going to get rid of it and have a more permanent solution. And permanent solutions are good because there was once a time during my American life that I didn't have wide access to the single most important British resource: television. But this all changed one bright Monday morning when I sat down with a cup of tea and binge-watched classic Doctor Who on BritBox. And once I was done with that, I remembered I could just feast my eyes on hundreds of other programs. The latest being Season 2 of The Tower, a serious and truly gripping
Is this like a British version of Netflix?
Because even so-called comedians need occasional dramatic relief, alright? Anyway, it's very, very good, and it follows on from the events of Season 1, which you can also watch on BritBox. In addition to this, you can stream your other favourite British shows via your smartphone, tablet, desktop,
I've never heard of
Apple
this.
TV or Roku device, as well as LG and Samsung smart TVs. Head to BritBox.com/LostInThePond and use the promo code LostInThePond when signing up for a monthly subscription, and you'll get 50% off your first month. The link is also in my description below. Perhaps one of the biggest challenges of living in your own American house can be viewed from here, nature's cinema, otherwise known as the mudroom. Because it should be noted that it's not just humans that cause problems. Listen, I'm the biggest animal lover there is, right? My puppy is my best friend, and my cat is my second best friend. But sometimes there are members of the animal kingdom that are absolute Existing subscribers will remember back in the winter when my garage was commandeered by squirrels who thought it'd be a great idea to turn the wooden beams into a sandwich. Thankfully, they were taken care of, but then guess what happened? At the start of spring, we had a swarm of bees in there, and when I say...
Oh, you know what? That is the biggest nightmare, man. You know when you get, like, a lot of bees or wasps and they've just created a nest in, like, a shed? Oh... I remember I had one in my shed. I had to put like some fake beehive. I can't even remember how I got them out, but it was a nightmare.
A swarm, I mean like 4 of them, but still, you know, you don't want bees in your garage because when you put a bee in garage, what have you got? Garbage. Thankfully, they've gone too, but the same cannot be said for the evil bunny rabbits who insisted on chewing not only our grass but devouring the daffodils. That could have been the dog. I didn't see it, but I had noticed the rabbits hovering around them prior to the event.
Rabbits
so
are cute.
I'm going to blame them. And then there's our dustbins, known here as garbage cans or trash cans. Unfortunately, there's one member of the animal kingdom that you find in America and not in Britain that doesn't give 2 hoots what you call it, and that animal is the raccoon. Because they tip your bins over and run away with banana skins and laugh.
Oh, I can't lie. Right, listen, we don't have any raccoons, right? And it would be annoying. But look how cute it is. Like, it's actually so cute.
To themselves. Ha ha ha! The wind did it! And finally, though I haven't seen one myself, I've been warned recently by neighbours that coyotes frequent the alleyway at night.
Right, I've heard that coyotes is an absolute big problem. Like not problem, but like a very big annoyance in America. You gotta keep your pets indoors, or like you gotta, you know, keep an eye on your pets and stuff because they can go after them. Yeah, that would be a
I
nightmare.
don't know if they're going to go through stuff or destroy my yard or haunt me in my dreams, but I just know they're out there waiting. We don't have coyotes in Britain. In fact, the only one that made it over there was a cartoon that used to fall off cliffs. But this is very real, so keep watching my channel for future clickbait videos on the subject.
Nice.
Over the last few weeks and months, ever since I moved into my first American house, one of the biggest questions that I've had is, Lawrence, is your home part of an HOA? And the answer to that question
What does that mean?
is no. We didn't want any part of that noise. And my British viewers, much like me when I first started hearing all about this, might be thinking, what's a homeowner association? Because here's the thing, in Britain, to find the equivalent of a homeowner association is rare. So what is it? What does it do? Well, if you move into a house that is a part of the HOA, you then become a member of it. And that means that you have to adhere to rules. And depending on state and local laws, these can vary from what colour you paint your house, how many plants you put in your garden, to the types of yard signs you have. And to me, specifically as a British person, one of the more peculiar bans is this. After I left Britain for a life in the United States, it quickly became apparent that America did things differently. This was evidenced by people's vocabulary, food items, and the seeming absence of one thing in particular: clotheslines. Back in Britain, clotheslines or washing lines are a popular mainstay of the drying process, with people unabashed about airing their clean laundry in public. American yards, however, are more often than not free.
I don't really know too many people that still do that now, but there is people that still do that. But most people are, you know, they got washing machines and dryers.
Free of clotheslines, with the exception of that time my wife's cousin Chad misjudged the vibe of our cookout by dressing up as John Cena. One reason for this is HOAs. Because in some communities in America, there exists an outright ban by HOAs on the use of outdoor clotheslines. Their reasoning is often that they obscure the view for fellow residents. But what are they trying to look at? Because if it isn't my matching Abraham Lincoln socks, there's something truly wrong with them. But in recent years, 20 states, including Illinois, have passed so-called right-to-dry laws, banning HOAs from doing this. Their reasoning being that citizens have the right to utilize solar power. Still, that means there are 30 states where outdoor clotheslines can still be banned, meaning that millions of Americans will never know the joy, as I once did, of hearing their underpants flap in the wind. And so, as a freedom-loving British American, I love not being part of an HOA. It's just that somebody needs to tell Suburban Sue, because the post-it notes are getting a bit much. And that's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below if you have an American house and what bother it's been giving you.
Yeah, I want to know that as well. Let me know in the comment section if you're in an American home, what kind of bothers you get, what kind of annoyance do you get. I'd be really interested to read them all. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all in the next one.